Hello everyone, welcome back to my booktube. I'm a romance reader and I love all things to do with books, so if you like this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe and let's get into the video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a huge book haul. Now I have been collecting these books over the past couple of months, so I thought, you know what, let's do a little bit of a book haul. In my previous video, I did do a book shopping vlog in which I did show you what books I actually bought. I am going to include these also in this video, so if you've already watched that, then you're more than welcome to skip over it, but I have a few more books that I have not shown you. So let's show you what I actually picked up when I went book shopping over the past couple of months. So the first book I got was actually for my birthday, which is a special edition. Now this one is a Waterstones exclusive, and when I saw this one I was like, I have to have it because it's purple, and purple is my favourite colour, and this is the only book by her, or by this author shall I say, that I will ever have a special edition of, because the rest of the books are just, no. This is It Ends With Us. Now a lot of people can hate it or love it, but I really enjoyed this book. Yes, it has dark elements in it such as domestic violence, but I just really like this one, and this is the only one I really enjoyed, and the rest of the books just gave me a headache, and I will not pick any more of her books up, but this one, I can cope with this one. So this is special edition, Waterstones exclusive. It's got the gold writing on it, on the front and the back. It has the lilies inside, which obviously now that I've wrapped it up, I'm not going to undo it to open it and show you, but I've wrapped it up in cling film because then it won't get damaged and it won't get marked or anything. So yeah, this is It Ends With Us. I saw this in the background of someone else's video and I was like, I have to have that book because it's purple and it's so much better than the other one that she released as a special edition in the UK, because that one was just white with the pink lilies on it, and I was like, nothing really to shout about. I mean, this one isn't, to be fair, but it's purple and I really like it. So yes, I got this one for my birthday. And then I also went into the charity shops, which I love a good charity shop book. I will go in there, and if I find a popular book that I think, oh, I really wanted to read that, I will pick it up. I'm not really bothered of what the book is in, apart from the fact that if it's really in a state, then I won't. But if it's got a cracked spine, it's got a little blip at the end of the book, or it's got a little mark on it, I'm really not bothered, and I would much rather pay less for a book and enjoy the book than paying a high price for a book that is in immaculate condition and then I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? So yes, I always go to the charity shop. So I found these 4 books in there, and let me tell you, some bargains to have here. So I picked up another version of It Ends With. Now you're thinking, why have you got so many books of It Ends With Us? Right, so let me tell you a story. I bought this one when I first read it and I was like, oh, I really like it, and then I got rid of it because I bought It Starts With Us as well, and then I sold them together as a bundle for someone else to enjoy, and then I was like, oh, I really regret selling it. I found it in the charity shop again for like 75p. I kept it on my shelf for ages, and then someone else that I knew was talking about it, was like, oh, I really want to read books, the film's coming out. I borrowed them the book and I've never got it back, but we won't talk about that. And then I was like, right, if I find it in the charity shop again, I'm going to pick it up. And this one I obviously found again. It does have a little coffee mark on the front, so someone's obviously balanced a cup of tea or something on it. A cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever it is. So it has a slight mark there, but it's nothing too noticeable. It doesn't really look like it's been read that much. It looks like it was bought from new and then sort of broken into the spine a little bit. But I'm like, well, this was 50p. And I was like, yes, I'm having this, and I'm not borrowing out my books ever again. So if you borrow books out and you get them back in the same condition as you sent them, but if you borrow them out and you never get it back, it's annoying. It's annoying, so I won't be doing that again. We've learned my lesson. So yeah, I thought, you know what, if I see it again, I'm going to be picking it up, I'm going to keep it on my shelf, and that's where it's staying. So we have that one. Now I am a big Freida McFadden fan. Now I have said in my videos that I'm a romance reader. I am predominantly a romance reader and I love them, but thriller I've been recently getting into in the past probably 6 months-ish. Once I picked up a Freida McFadden, I have not stopped. I love Freida McFadden books. I know there's some controversy around Freida McFadden. They're like, oh, it's not the best books in the world, but personally I love her. I love these books, and I have tried other thrillers after her and I've not really been bothered about them. They've not got the same vibe. So Freida McFadden, when I see a Freida McFadden book, I'm like, I've got to have that book, because oh my god, she is so fucking good at writing her books. So I've seen these 2. Now the first one is One by One. Haven't read this one, don't even know what it's about, but I know it's going to be good because majority of her books I have and I love. So on the back it's got The Co-Worker, I've read that one. The Locked Door, read that one. My first one, which is Never Lie, which was one of my favourite books. This is the first book that I ever read by Freida McFadden, and if you want to get into a Freida McFadden book or you want to try thriller, get yourself to that one, because that one is so good. And then we have The Inmate as well. I haven't read that one, but I thought one by one, we'll try it, see what it's about. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest, because I haven't read the blurb or anything like that, but I know it's going to be good. Small book, I'll whiz through it. So this one was £1. And then the next one is The Housemaid's Secret. Now I know this one is the second book in the series, but because of it being on Kindle Unlimited, I can read the first one on my Kindle, second one, bit of both, and then the rest of them on a Kindle if I want to. So this was £1.30, and I love Freida McFadden, like I said. My mum actually had these because I bought them for a birthday last year, and I was like, you read them, I know that you like thrillers, tell me if they're any good or whether it's just not worth the hype, because I know people have talked about them on TikTok, and I want to know whether it's true or not. And at that time I was like, not really fussed about it, not really into thrillers or anything like that, but I was like, you know what, let's just give it a try, and I have not stopped. I love them. So when I saw this one, I was like, well, I'm going to give this one a go, because I know this one is coming to a film or a series or whatever it is, and I'm like, I need to read these books before I start reading before I start watching the series. So yes, we have the popular Housemaid's Secret. And then the last one I found was Wildfire by Hannah Grace. Now I have read Icebreaker, wasn't my favourite book in the world. I felt like it was a lot of smut and not any storyline to it. However, that sometimes happens with series. Either the first or the second book isn't great, but at least one of them is good in the series. So I was like, well, I'll give it a go, I'll try again. I didn't mind the writing, it just felt like a bit plain, if that makes sense, as in the storyline. Like the storyline, it just didn't really have any go in it, but I was like, well, we'll try again. There's no harm in trying again. And I thought, for £3, brand new book as well, near enough, because look at the spine, not even cracked. There's like a little mark at the back there, so whether somebody got rid of it and was like, I'm not going to read that, I'm just going to give it to the charity shop, and I was like, right, I'm having a go. So we'll see if this one's any good and see if it's better than Icebreaker. Then I also bought The Crash by Freida McFadden. I did buy this from Asda because at the time I was like, this is a new release, I want to see what this one's about. I know, again, it's on Kindle Unlimited, but I was like, I need this book. And I thought there was going to be less of them as they were. So I went into Asda. This was the last one. I was like, obviously it's shouting me. Then I ended up going to Tesco and seeing there was loads more copies, and also it was a little bit cheaper, and I was like, you know what, it doesn't matter, because Freida deserves it. She is such a good writer, and I thought, I cannot not have this book. So this is The Crash by her. This has only been released as of this year, and again, this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and it is quite thick to say it's a Freida book. Normally her books are quite slim, but I feel like this is the thickest one that she's actually wrote. But I feel like something about this front cover is slightly different to, like, well, it's not really, it's actually the same writing, but something about it is like completely different to like her old books. I don't know what it is, but then I'm looking at this one and I'm like, it's exactly the same font, same everything. So I think it's just me. But yes, I'm so excited to read this one, because I will sit and read a Freida McFadden any day of the week. And I know that I get through them very quick, because she's such a good writer. She grips you, she pulls you in, and she makes you think. So yeah, we have that one as well. And then the next books I actually got from Waterstones. Now if you have watched my previous video, like I said, then you're more than welcome to skip over this, because obviously it's the same books. But I did buy 4 books. One of them was for my mum, and then the other 3 was for myself. So the one that I actually bought for my mum was by Christine Hannah, I think her name is, and this was called The Nightingale. This is very popular all over TikTok, but it is based in the World War, and that's not my sort of thing. But then again, I say that about thriller, and I ended up getting into that, so maybe, I don't know. But again, that doesn't really interest me or anything. It is apparently really sad. She has finished it, and she said it was actually quite a good book. She said that at the beginning it was getting on her nerves a little bit, but then once she finished it, she was like, actually it was quite good. So the 3 books that I ended up buying myself was Beg, Borrow, Steal, Indigo Ridge, and Chloe Liese's Once Smitten, Twice Shy. So this one again is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. This is part of a series, I believe. I'm hoping it's not like properly into a series, as in you could read them separately as well as part of a series, because I have not read the other 2. And I have read a couple of books by Sarah Adams now. I absolutely love them, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to pick this one up. So this was part of the buy one get one half price deal. However, the other books just weren't shouting me, so I did end up paying full price for this one. So yeah, we have Sarah Adams' Beg, Borrow, Steal. The next one, Once Smitten, Twice Shy. This is part of the Wilmot Sisters series by Chloe Liese. So you have Two Wrongs Make a Right, which is the first one, which is about B. The second one is Better Hate Than Never, which is about Kate. And then this one is about Jules. So yeah, as much as I didn't really like the second one, I thought, well, I've got to finish off the series now, and I need to know what happens with Jules. So I really loved Two Wrongs Make a Right. The second one wasn't really my favourite, so I'm hoping this one is just as good as Two Wrongs Make a Right, or at least it finishes it off and that's the end of it, and it's been a really good book. So yeah, we had to get that one as well. And then the next one I'm hoping is not a part of a series, because this was actually a blind date with a book. Now when I've been into Waterstones or the Works or wherever, I've never seen these, and all over TikTok they're like, oh my god, the Works are doing blind dates with a book for £2.50. I'm like, I've never seen it. I've never seen it in my Waterstones and it's really annoying. But when I went into Waterstones, I saw that it had a shelves full of a blind date, so it must have been for Valentine's, because I went to Manchester before Valentine's, so it was all romance based. And a lot of the books, when they had the prompts on it, I was like, I think I've read that one, that sounds familiar, that sounds familiar. And this is the only one that didn't, and I'm hoping it's not part of a series. And if it is, at least be the first book in the series, because it's going to be so annoying if it's like the third book in the series and I need to find the other ones first before I read this one. So this one is Indigo Ridge. This is a cowboy story. So the only cowboy romance I've actually read is Flawless by Elsie Silver. So I was like, right, this one says it's cowboy, small town, let's give it a go. Opened it and I was like, Indigo Ridge. And since I've actually opened this book and seen what it was, I've seen this all over TikTok now, and I'm like, is it any good? Is it part of a series? It looks like it's part of a series, but I'm hoping this is the first book in the series. But look at that flop. I love it, and I'm hoping it's good, because if it's not, I'm going to be disappointed. But I'm going to have to Google it to see if it's part of a series. But if you have read this book, let me know if it is, and what book is it, because if it is like the third book in the series, it's going to be really annoying. And then of course I had to buy a lot of books from the Works, because how can you not, especially with their prices in the Works. Like, so the first book I have is The Love Interest, which is by Victoria Walters. I have not heard about this book, but when I read the blurb and I read the inside, I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I was like, you know what, for £2.50 you can't go wrong, because this was part of the 3 for £6, and I was like, well, no other books that are really catching my eye in the 3 for £6 deal, let's just buy it on its own. And it only costs you £2.50, which is good, because these books are supposed to be £9 each. So how they get away with selling them for £2.50, I do not know. Of course, Ali Hazelwood's new book, which is Deep End. This has only just been released not long ago, and I was like, I'm going to have to pick this up, because Ali Hazelwood is one of my favourite authors. One of her books, which was Love on the Brain, is the first one that I started reading, and that was the one that kicked off the whole buying books again, reading books, going on book talk, doing booktube, that sort of thing. Because even though I loved reading as a kid, I then stopped for a while and I never really picked up a book for years and years and years. And then I started reading a few more books again when I got to about college age, picked up Love on the Brain, and that's it. It just kicked it all off, and I was like, yes, I have to pick up this one. This is one of her thickest books, I believe. I've got The Love Hypothesis, I've had Love on the Brain, I've got Check and Mate, I've had, what's the other one? Oh, where they go skiing, I can't think what they're called. I can't think what it's called, but they go skiing and it's all about 3 friends and they all have separate stories, I can't remember what it's called. And then there's obviously Bride, but this one, I feel like this is the thickest book that she's ever released, so we're gonna have to see. But overall it's good. It was going to be called something different. I think it was going to be called Wet, but now it's been changed to Deep End instead, which is that a innuendo? Who knows? So yes, this, hopefully, I'm going to rate a good 5-star, if not 4. We'll see. So we've got that one. Then we have, again, some more Sarah Adams books, because like I said, I've read the War Book Buyer, I've read the Cheat Sheet, and I've really enjoyed them books, and I was like, I need some more. So I actually have now 4 books by her, and I know that Sarah Adams don't have books on Kindle Unlimited, so I was like, well, I'm just going to buy some of the physical copies of her books instead and read them like that, because I don't mind reading physical, and I don't mind reading on Kindle. So I was like, I have to buy these books. So the first one is The Match by her. Now these are all revised and expanded, so I'm presuming they've been released before, but she's just decided to change them and expand them. So we have The Match, which is part of a series, I think. So The Enemy is the next one. Don't know why I showed you like that. The Enemy is the next one, or the first one, I don't know. But again, like I say, revised and expanded. So I'm gathering she's released them before and then just decided to change them. So we have those 2 books. And then I also have Off Limits Rule, which again is also revised and expanded. And I'm hoping this is not part of a series, because it does have another book on the back called The Temporary Roomie, which this book says on the back it's supposed to be £11. And I got this for £4.50. It's quite expensive, I think, to be fair. £11 for a book. And then the last book I have from the Works is First Time Caller by BK Borison. Again, this is one of my most anticipated reads of the year, but this is a sprayed edge version. I have never had a sprayed edge book, and it's not the reason I picked it up, it's just because when I heard about this getting released, I was like, right, let's read about it, see what it's going to be about, and it sounded really good. And then the Works actually released it with a sprayed edge. And then when I saw it in person, I was like, wow, that's actually beautiful. So it has the girl at the top, which is in pink, and then the boy at the bottom, which is in yellow. And then obviously the matching the matching bits at the top and the bottom. And I'm excited to read this book. If it is good and it does, you know, live up to the way that it looks, then I'm going to be obviously keeping this, but I'm going to make sure that this is covered so it doesn't get sun damaged. So yeah, this is first time caller by her. I've never read any books by her, so I'm like, I don't know how it's going to be, but I read the inside and I thought this sounds really good. But then it says as the dedication, for the hopeless romantics and the reluctant ones too. So yeah, we have that one as well, and that is absolutely everything. So that is all the books that I've accumulated over the past 2 months. Let me tell you, I have more books on my bookshelf that I still have not picked up, and they've been on there for ages, so I don't know how long these are actually going to take me to actually get around to reading, but they're there. I buy books quicker than I read them, so hands up. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.